is definitely a Jesuit bomb. It appears that the Jesuits have come up with a bomb that defeats our shields using the force. It appears that it's what they've done is they've come up with a bomb that requires other ingredients that it interacts with in order to explode. And this is a very deadly bomb, something that they could... Look at that. That is definitely a Jesuit bomb. And it's a nuclear bomb. Look at that. That is a nuke. The Loree McBride Jesuits have learned that if they drop a bomb over the shield, my shield will protect the bomb. So that's a nuke. That is a nuclear bomb. You can tell by looking at it that my shield will keep the bomb from hitting the ground. And they even used agents to launch bombs underneath the shield, and they caught, even then my shield would pop up and keep the bomb from hitting the ground. So they finally figured out how to cause the explosion to happen underneath the shield. What they've decided to do is put some of the ingredients of the bomb already planted underneath the shield. Okay, like maybe ammonium nitrate. And then one of their automatons or a person would drop the bomb, which wasn't really a bomb. So how do I explain this? They've come up with something really clever. They have come up with a bomb that isn't a bomb until it interacts with the ammonium nitrate or whatever the ingredient is on the ground that it needs to explode. So the shield is fooled, I guess, and thinks that this... So when the person drops the bomb onto the material that it interacts with that causes it to explode, then it becomes a bomb. But by that point, it's already underneath the shield and it explodes. Okay, once it starts exploding, the shield recognizes that this is a bomb and it starts lifting the bomb up. That's why you're seeing the bomb. You see how, you notice in the picture how the bomb is lifting up? It's the shield lifting the bomb up to get it away from the people. So the shield doesn't start working until it becomes a bomb. In other words, somebody's dropping something onto the materials with which it will explode. In other words, the bomb is created instantly by somebody dropping, let's call them pre-bomb materials, dropping pre-bomb materials onto the chemicals with which it will interact, and then it becomes a bomb instantly underneath the shields. And at that point, the shield recognizes, wow, a bomb's happened. So that's why you're seeing the bomb spread out, because the shield is now lifting it up away from the people. But the clever Jesuits have decided, since they can't defeat the shield because it always lifts the bomb up, they need for the bomb to be created to be benign and only become a bomb once it interacts with the materials. So it interacts with the materials and then the shield lifts it up. That's why you're seeing it lift up like a circle, because the shield's lifting up, trying to protect the people within the vicinity of the explosion. But the problem is the force of the explosion is nuclear. It becomes a nuclear bomb. But by the time the shield recognizes there's a bomb underneath it, it's too late. The bomb's already exploded on the ground. And I believe this is a nuclear. Let me tell you why. If there was no shield and that bomb exploded, the nuclear, instead of going up like this, it would have went out like this, and it would have did like it did in Canada, and everybody would have died and drowned, and women would have got pregnant. But instead, what's happening is the explosion is what's killing people. The force of the explosion. The Jesuits have already figured out they can't drown people out with nuclears because the shield lifts the bomb up. Since they can't stop the shield from lifting the bomb up to protect people, they decided the trick is to create the bomb instantly underneath the shield before the shield recognizes that it's a bomb. And then the force of the explosion, the shield, it's too late. By the time the shield recognizes that this is a bomb, the force of the explosion is so great that people are dying from it. So the Jesuits have found a way to defeat the shield. They already started, launching bombs underneath the shield using automatons. They would launch them and point the bombs to the ground, and that wouldn't work because the shield would immediately pop the bomb up. So they figured we got to be faster than the shield. And they said the way we can be faster than the shield is we need to create the bomb instantly underneath the shield so that the shield doesn't recognize it's a bomb. You get it? And so that's what's going on. Yeah. So the shield doesn't protect from the bomb because it doesn't become a bomb until it interacts with the explosive materials. It's designed to become an instant bomb once it interacts. So I've written new law that we're going to analyze the chemicals that were in the bomb and determine what caused the explosion, what chemical interactions caused the explosion, because those are the ingredients of the bomb. And we're going to ban those materials, scan for those materials throughout the universe, ban them. They cannot be used. I don't think the world needs ammonium nitrate. We're going to ban those materials. And I've also written new law to expand what is a Loree McBride Jesuit. We're not catching all of them because I think Satan is moving on to new ground. Satan appears to be, I think he started losing with Loree McBride because we came up with some technology where we were able to deal with her. And I believe that some of the Loree McBride clones were actually surrendering to Jesus. And so Satan was starting to lose with Loree McBride. It's possible that we have a new Antichrist. Or we might still be dealing with Loree McBride because she has so many clones. If the clone is good and wants to side with Jesus, then Satan says, that's okay. I'll just move on to a bad Loree McBride clone. Loree is so vain and evil, that probably wouldn't be hard for him. But we could be dealing with a new Antichrist. So, when we had Angelina Ballerina, we thought once we defeated her, it would be over. Well, it wasn't over because then Satan just moved on to Loree McBride. And now that he's losing with Loree McBride, he could have moved on to a new person. Maybe the new Antichrist is the Brent Spiner clone. Who knows? I don't know. The point is, more important than who is the new Antichrist is how do we prevent this from happening over and over and over again. So I've written new conspiracy law to redefine what is a Loree McBride Jesuit. A Loree McBride Jesuit is defined as somebody who is a Satan or devil worshiper. And how you might say, well, how do you define that? Under my conspiracy law, a Satan worshiper gets the death penalty. And a Satan worshiper is defined as somebody who is obsessed with a lust for money, vanity, and or worldly honor and or fame to the point that they would gladly deal with Satan to obtain the riches and honor that Satan has the power to give. Those are Satan worshipers, and they all get the death penalty. And we're going to set up scanners or do whatever we can to take every person like that off the planet. Because as long as they exist, Satan will have somebody he can use to be his Antichrist. And until we get rid of them, we will never have peace. And we'll be suffering with these bombs forever, with the germ bombs and these other bombs. She's always making deadly bombs, whoever the Antichrist is. It could be a guy now. Well, eventually it's going to be a guy. We know that from Bible prophecy. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up scanners to scan every person on earth to determine who is obsessed with a lust for money and worldly honor and fame to the point that they would gladly deal with Satan or one of his demons like the UFOs in order to acquire wealth or worldly honor or fame. All Satan worshipers must be executed, whether by a scan or whatever. Nobody's immune from this scan. Even Church of Gale members, all the men on my marriage list, even me, myself, must be scanned. Though, of course, I'm not going to be against myself, but the scan will determine my motives and clear me of involvement in Satan's criminal activities, because I want to play fair. We could be dealing with traitors. If this seems extreme, you must realize that Loree McBride meets with Satan weekly. So our enemy is not Loree McBride, it is Satan. Also, if we don't include ourselves in the scan, the Satan worshippers can rightly claim that perhaps we too are Satan worshippers and we are playing a deadly hypocritical game. So nobody's exempt from this scan. Our deadly enemy is Satan himself, and until we deal with him directly, we will never win. This scan, which scans for Satan worshippers, will scan the memories of every person on earth, starting with those in the vicinity of this bomb that happened in Lebanon. That would be Lebanon, Israel, Syria, Iraq, Iran, etc. To determine if anyone, she's dropping bombs. I've got a headache right now from these bombs. If anyone knows anything about this bomb, anyone whose memories have been tampered with will be immediately suspect, and all such people will have all their connections searched to find out who was responsible for this bomb in Beirut, Lebanon. We're going to combine a scan for Satan worshippers with a scan to find those who have a knowledge of the bomb, and we should be able to find some culprits who was behind this bomb. Once we find the culprits, we're going to do memory reads of them if we can, and then they will be executed publicly on Gabriel Chana, Fox News, 00 on cable. The scanner will also look for shields, because more than likely the guilty culprits will be under a shield that protects them from our scanners. If that's the case, then all those under the shield will be brought before Jesus Christ himself, using whatever technology we got to use to do so, even if we have to transport a whole city or country under a shield. Jesus himself will then determine who's guilty or innocent. I'm sure Jesus knows who the devil worshipers are out there. Jesus would know who they are and will deal with them accordingly. You may say, how can you bring them before Jesus? Jesus doesn't exist. You know, I'm not going to waste my time with idiots who think Jesus does not exist. He does exist. He's met with me and my men. Okay? He's been taking Brent Spiner out to breakfast and lunch almost every day for the past couple of years. So I'm not going to argue with you fools, okay? The Bible's true. And under my conspiracy law, we honor the Bible. The Bible is true. We believe that. We know there's a Satan. We know there's a Jesus. That's my conspiracy law. And we don't force people to believe like we do. We believe in free will and freedom. But if we determine people of a certain religion are terrorists and Satan worshipers are definitely terrorists, they got to go. They got to go. This is not discrimination. This is anti-terrorism law. Our nanotechnology research team has come up with technology that enables us to bring people before Jesus. Yep. So if we cannot overcome their shields, we'll just take them along with their shields and put them right before Jesus. And we may also have to do this for those who've had their memories removed. You know, Jesus said that I and my men would defeat the Jesuits. And from my Bible studies recently, it seems to me that the way that we're going to do it is that I'm going to be like a type of the millennial reign of Christ. You know, before Jesus sets up his millennium, he has to destroy all the devil worshipers. So maybe I am a type of that. You're never going to have peace as long as Satan's able to rule the planet. You may say, you can't be Jesus Christ. Well, I'm his favorite, and I have King David genes, so I may be a type of Jesus. I think Jesus is going to use me and my men to set up a type of the millennial reign before the rapture. So you might say, separation of church and state. But you know, let me just tell you this. Those of you who argue about separation of church and state, That is not what the founders of our Constitution. The way you interpret that from Thomas Jefferson's letter that he wrote, that letter was taken out of context. There was a 1963-64 decision that took Bible and prayer out of public schools. That was based on a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote that was taken out of context. It was never intended to be interpreted the way the Supreme Court interpreted that decision. And that's why, under my conspiracy law, I have set up a conspiracy law Supreme Court that overrides the U.S. Supreme Court. In fact, I've set up a group of 70 lawyers, and they're like 7 per district. I've got like 10 districts throughout the United States, and they're going to go to each district and analyze all the state and local laws and make sure that they honor conspiracy law. And if they don't, the laws have to be rewritten, and then people will vote on the changes. I'll have a link for that underneath this video. But the founders never intended for the United States to be an anti-Christian nation. They were all Christians. Even Thomas Jefferson, they were all Christians, the founders of the United States. And that Supreme Court decision in 62 and 63 actually was based on a 1947 justice called Black, a Supreme Court justice, who made a decision that was really in violation of the Constitution. They had no precedent. The 1962-63 Supreme Court decision that banned prayer in the public schools, they had no precedent except for a 1947 decision that in itself was unconstitutional. That was a decision that was made by a Justice Black who was a KKK member. Yeah. Probably a Jesuit, because most of the KKK are Jesuit. So, you know, the Jesuits play like they believe in rights and all that. What they do is they violate people's rights, then they play victim and pretend like they didn't do it. And then while playing victim, they set up anarchists and like Marxist and fascist groups to destroy the nation through anarchy. And I'm not going to put up with that. Anyways, folks, I've got new law. I'm going to let you read about how, the U.S. Supreme Court is no longer the Supreme Court anymore. I've substituted it with a group of 70 called the Conspiracy Law Supreme Court. And that's because the United States Supreme Court has made so many decisions since that horrible decision they made in 1963 that has violated the U.S. Constitution. And no, I'm a constitutionalist. My conspiracy law honors the Constitution in many ways, and I'm just not gonna. I'm not gonna let the devil win. Anyways, I'll have links underneath this video, but we're gonna go after Satan worshipers now. We have to, because they are the ones who were behind that bomb. I'm certain of it. I'm certain of it. I went to God in prayer, and I prayed and read the Bible and asked God to give me wisdom how to deal with that bomb in Beirut, Lebanon. And I just happened to be in the passage where Balaam was meeting with Balak to try to curse the nation of Israel, so that Balak was offering Balaam all sorts of stuff. He said, I'll give you honor, I'll give you money, just curse them for me so that we can defeat Israel because they're coming in and taking all our land, you know. And Balaam said, I can only say God got mad at Balaam because Balaam was really greedy and evil. So God let him go in there, but he ended up saying a blessing on Israel. But Balaam in his heart was evil and greedy, and he wanted the honor that Balak wanted to give him. And Jesus said, guess what, Gail? Balak is actually a type of Satan. And Balaam, he said, is like Loree McBride. Not that one. Think about Balaam, B-A-L-A-A-M, L-M, Loree McBride. Jesus said, that's it, Gail. I'm telling you what to do about Beirut, Lebanon. I said, Gail, Satan's having problems with Loree McBride. Some of her clones are actually coming to my side. But some of them, but she's such a wicked person and so vain and loves money so much and loves fame and, being famous and all that, that Satan is, he's able to get enough of her clones to cooperate with him. But unfortunately, he's kind of moving on to other targets. So Jesus said, Gail, you're going to have to just go after all the Satan worshipers. He said, even though Balaam ended up blessing the nation of Israel, later, a lot of Bible scholars believe that Balaam was behind the fact that Israel started worshiping Satan. Yeah. Balak figured out, I can't defeat Israel unless I get them to betray their God, because God protects them. So Balak figured, aha, the way to defeat Israel is to get them to worship Satan, start worshiping Satan. So he infiltrated Israel and caused one of them to become a traitor and to become a devil worshiper. And he infected the Israelis with all that devil worship so that a whole bunch of them became devil worshipers. And of course, God got angry and he sent them a plague and killed them all off. And Jesus is saying, yeah, the same thing's happened. You got a traitor in your midst. So that's why we're going to scan for devil worshipers, even at Church of Gail, even among all the men on my marriage list, even myself. Nobody's exempt. President Trump, everybody on my cabinet, any devil worshippers there? Actually, I think I picked a good cabinet. You might say, Tulsi Gabbard's a Hindu. She's a devil worshiper. You don't understand what a devil worshiper is, folks. You could actually be a Hindu or even a New Ager and not be a devil worshiper. The way I define a devil worshiper. A devil worshiper, according to conspiracy law, is somebody who is so greedy, so full of lust, so full of vanity, so full of pride and the desire for wealth and worldly fame, that they would gladly align with Satan if he would give them the fame, the vanity, the pride, the acclaim that they want. They're like a devil worshiper's like Balaam. They've got the heart like Balaam. In other words, they might side with Jesus outwardly, but inwardly they love being rich and famous and having everybody think that they're a big shot. And that's a devil worshiper. I know a lot of Christians think only Christians go to heaven, but that's not true, Christians. There are going to be some New Agers and Hindus and people up there in heaven. Jesus judges by the heart, and he defines a devil worshiper like the way I just described it. So Tulsi Gabbard may be a Hindu, but she's not a devil worshiper. Besides, remember when Hurricane Douglas, when Loree McBride sent Hurricane Douglas to Hawaii, which was kind of strange? That was Loree McBride trying to punish my vice president, Tulsi Gabbard. But you know what happened? That my Gale Shield apparently protected Hawaii, and that Hurricane Douglas skirted just to the north of it. It didn't make landfall, and then it missed Hawaii, and they hardly got hit at all. No casualties. And then God sent a beautiful rainbow over Hawaii, saying, I protected you, Tulsi Gabbard, because I know you're doing a good job as Gale's vice president. God sent a beautiful rainbow over Hawaii. So I know Tulsi Gabbard's not a devil worshiper. She's not a Satan worshiper. She may be a Hindu, but God apparently likes her version of Hinduism. He's cool with her. So anyways, we got to deal with these devil worshipers the way I define them under conspiracy law. They got to go. All over the world, they got to go. Okay? And that bomb, I'm telling you what I think happened with that bomb, and it's absolutely disgusting.